everyone, welcome to episode 16 of That's So You. My name is Diane, also known as Mrs. You. If it is your first time watching, welcome. I hope you like what you see. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. This is a podcast mainly about knitting. Now and then there's some crochet and some other crafts involved as well. You can find me on social media as either Mrs. You Makes or YummyTripletMummy, but I'll put specifics for some of them around there somewhere. Right, I'm not sure how long it's been since the last episode, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I think. Or might be a little bit longer than that. But yeah, today is the 5th of February. I think it's just gone 11 o'clock. The triple arters are in school and little miss is asleep in the buggy. Just got back from doing the school run and a bit of shopping earlier, so she fell asleep, so I thought it's the perfect time to record an episode. I don't have a whole lot to show to you today. I only have 2 finished objects and there's one whip that I've been working on a little bit. So yeah, and there's no goodies today, but hopefully for the next episode there'll be a very nice goodie that I've been wanting to get for some time. Right, so yes, introductions have been done. Let's get started. So my first project that I want to show for Done and Dusted is one I spoke about in the last episode. I was asked by Lola, who is the dyer behind Third Vault Yarns, to design a project for not design a project, but to design an item for her book club subscription. It's called the Vaulters Book Club, and every quarter what was I going to say? Yeah, every quarter you can subscribe to get some yarn, a pattern, and I think maybe, not 100% sure, but I think some other items relating to that particular book. And each quarter is a different theme. So the theme for this particular quarter is space, and the book for the book club was The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I finished the actual item. I made a cowl. I finished it I think not long ago, about 2 weeks ago, maybe less than that. And then I just spent time writing up the pattern. I've finished the pattern now, and I've given Lola some download codes so that those who have subscribed to the club can download those. So I believe it's this week that she's sending off the yarn for that. So I know it's unlikely, but if you are subscribed to that club and you haven't received your package yet and you don't want to have any spoilers, I will put on the screen somewhere the best place for you to go to so that you don't see anything. So first, before I show you the actual item, I'll show you the yarn, what I have left over of the yarn. Okay, so this is the yarn that Lola sent. The colorway is called Hashcaf. Those of you who haven't read the book, Hashcaf is the name of, it's not the planet, I don't think. I think I don't think it's a planet. I think it's the area on the planet where one of the characters, Sissix, comes from. So as you can see, it's a lovely grey with speckles of purples, and there's oranges and greens, and I'd say golds there. And this is a DK weight, and this is absolutely lovely. I was so pleased when Lola showed me the picture, and I thought this would be perfect for what I had in mind to do. This yarn is amazing to work with. It is Caroline DK. There are 230 meters, and that's 115 grams per ball. So you do get a nice amount of yarn there, and it is super soft and squishy. Yeah, so onto the pattern itself. As I said, I made a cowl. I wanted to make something that brought the characters together, and when talking to Lola about it, she mentioned something related to connectivity, which I thought was a great idea. So I wanted something to show the characters being connected in some way. I couldn't do it the exact way I had in mind initially, because that would mean when working the pattern, anybody making it would make things a bit more complicated in terms of the number of stitch patterns you're working at the same time. So I thought, make things a bit simple, just change the construction. But enough talking, I'll show you now. So here is the pattern. Let me just hold it this way first. So I haven't sewn in the ends there. So each section of the cowl relates to a different character, and this is the other way up. So I'll just go through them one by one. So this central bit here, where we have these heart cables, that represents Lovey, who is the ship's AI, and Lovey kind of helps the crew members kind of communicate with each other. She passes on messages to them, kind of like an intercom system, but then also lets the crew know what's happening in and around the ship as well. So I thought that was a great way to bring the idea of connectivity to them. Initially, I was going to have Lovey just going across as normal, but then each section going round would represent a different crew member, and the shawl, the cowl would be worked this way. Oh gosh. It will be worked this way, and then you just seam in the end. But doing that would mean you would have to not only work the stitches here and this cable, but then the stitches here. So that would mean working 3 different stitch patterns all at the same time, which I thought might be a bit much. So instead I changed how it's put together. So as I said, we've got Lovey here, which is just these cabled hearts running along, and then on the top we have Jenks. I've used hearts, small hearts, to represent Jenks because he is human, and he's I'm not sure if you would describe him as being a dwarf or a little person. But yes, he is on the smaller side, so which is one reason why I've done small hearts. But also, he and Lovey are in a relationship together, so that's why I've done hearts to represent him, because of the relationship he and Lovey have together. And then behind Jenks, so we have one big panel of stitches there, and here this is separated into 3 different stitch patterns. This represents Kizzy, who is the ship's she's the Comptech or the Mech-Tech. She and Jenks are the techie people on the ship. I think she does, I can't remember which one does more of the mechanical stuff and which is more the computery stuff. But yes, this represents Kizzy, who I think, even though she really is very spunky, a bit feisty, she is also quite girly in a sense, but not overly girly, and sweet. So I thought just this nice sort of flower stitch, I think it's called, was a great representation for her. And then here we have the linen stitch, which I've used to represent Rosemary. Rosemary is the newest crew member on the ship, and that's the story begins when Rosemary is arriving on the ship. and she is the ship's kind of like admin-y person on the ship. And I can't say why I've used this stitch, but just to do with, well, actually, when you come on the ship, she's kind of taken on a new identity and she's running away from something. You don't know yet what she's running away from. I know now that I've read. I'm coming towards the end of the story. But yeah, so I won't reveal anything. So I've done this just to represent the fact that, Linen Stitch, to say that there's parts of her that you can see in her character and there's other parts of her character that's hidden. And the these elongated stitches at the top is for Ohan. He is a cyanate, or not he, they are a cyanate pair. There's different species within this book. So cyanate pairs are, I forgot what the actual name of the species was, but they have this virus referred to as the Whisperer, which they feel is a gift which gives them special powers and abilities, but at the same time it's also killing them. So they refer to themselves as being a pair, as being two sort of individuals or two bodies, themselves and the Whisperer. So this represents Ohan, he as a cyanate pair. Now on the other side we have Ashby. Now, full disclosure, I had initially intended to work this the other way so that it would be, you have it as a V. So when I was working it, it's only then when I realized, oh, I didn't turn the chart upside down. So it doesn't matter. I think it still works out well. So I wanted it to look a bit like an arrowhead when it's working. Because Ashby is the captain of the ship, and the ship's name is the Wayfarer. I don't think I mentioned that. So he is the captain of the Wayfarer, and yeah, I thought an arrowhead pattern, just something just to signify his leadership and his strength on the ship also. So I thought that works nicely for that. And then when we turn it around, we have the final three crew members represented. We have here is a moss stitch, and this represents Corbin, who is the ship's algaeist. I don't really know any way I can really explain that, because it's one of those things where you have to read the book and you'll get a sense of what it is he does. I still don't fully understand what the significance of algae is for them. I don't know if it's used for fuel. I don't think it's used for food, but I think it might be used for fuel or something. But that's his role. Sort of like, I don't really say a gardener, but yeah, he's responsible for producing the algae on the ship. And here we have Sussex. I did overblock this a little. So this was supposed to come out more kind of like a diamond stitch there, but at certain angles you can see it. Sussex is I think she's the pilot of the ship, and it's her planet that the colorway for this is named after, and also the name of the pattern is inspired by her as well. So yeah, she's an Andrisk, and so her species has scales on their body, so that's to represent her scales. And here we have this is a blackberry stitch, and this is to represent Dr. Chef. He is my favorite character in the book. He's lovely, sweet, caring, makes sure everybody is looked after medically speaking, and also keeps them nicely fed as well. So I thought the blackberry stitch was a great representation for him. And then on either side of those we have ribs, and then I've worked a tubular cast off for the edges just to keep it nice and stretchy. Yeah, so that is the feather family. I've called it feather family because within Sussex, the Andrix species, when children are born, they're not raised by their parents. Their parents are referred to as their, I think it's their egg family, or so that just refers to like egg mother or egg father. So that refers to the person who, let's say, gave birth to you. And then you have a feather family. No, not a feather family. A hatch family. They're the family who look after the egg, and also, do they just look after the egg till it hatches? I believe so. No, yeah, they look after the egg till it hatches and raise the child. So that's the hatch family. Then you have the feather family. That's, imagine a group of adults in a shared flat or apartment. So that's basically a feather family. They're people who you choose to live with, sometimes for permanently, other times you might move from one feather family to another. So this is Sissex's feather family. She refers to the crew on the ship as her feather family, and also the names of your different families are put within their names, so that way you can trace back where you've come from, and you make sure that you're not having relations with anybody who you might blood-wise be related to. I think that's the concept. So within her name, there's one word that refers to her feather family, and that is Veshcreset. And Veshcreset means wayfarer. So I did have in mind to call this Veshcreset, but I thought in terms of the look and just saying the word, I thought feather family just fit a lot better. Yeah, so that is the feather family cowl. So if you have subscribed to the book club, you will get this pattern along with the yarn. If you haven't, don't worry, you can still get this pattern. It will be available, though I'm going to wait maybe a week or so after they have been sent before making it live to everybody else. Now, I have called this a cowl, but it can be worn in different ways. Oh, sorry, I'm looking there, but the camera lens thingy is there. Yes, it can be worn in different ways. I've got something I can introduce you to. Hold up. There's a new member to the Mrs. You Makes team. If you've been watching for a while, you will know there's Valerie. She is my dressmaker's dummy. And recently, someone else joined the team. She hasn't got a name yet. I got her from my sister. She makes wigs and hair weaves and stuff. I'm not sure if she sells them or just does them, makes them for herself. But this is one of the heads she's been using to practice. So I initially borrowed her to take pictures of the feather family. And she'd thrown some of the ones she had out and said she didn't really need this one, so she said I could keep it. So yeah, so I've been using her to model the cowl. It says on there the name Yolanda. I think that is the name of the company, not necessarily her name, but she doesn't look like a Yolanda to me. So I haven't decided on a name yet. So I can just show you some ways that the cowl can be worn. So obviously as a cowl, and then you can also fold it in on itself, and then wear it as a cowl, either this way or the other way. You could also wear it as a messy bun hat, also still folded in. Let's see. See, messy bun hat. And if you stretch it back up again, you could wear it as sort of a slouchy hat. Let me just get it over her head. trying to do it in a way that looks neat. Her hair isn't the best. I'm not sure whether it can be straightened. I have to check with my sister what the material she's used for her hair is, what the fibers will do, and then if it can be straightened, that'll be great. So it can be worn like this, or gathered in a little bit. The pictures I took are so much better, so at the end I might add pictures. Yeah, this isn't really doing it so much justice. The pictures I took look so much better because I had more time to do things a lot better. But then again, worn like this. So various ways that she can ignore the tail. Various ways that you can wear this, but I might just put in some pictures to show you that a lot better. Yeah, so yeah, you can see the hair is a bit messy at the moment, so yeah, that will have to be sorted out in some way. I'll just leave her there. But yeah, it freaks the boys out a bit. I left her in their room one night accidentally, and I woke up the morning and she'd been stuffed somewhere in the corner. So the next night I brought it out, pretended I was going to leave it somewhere, and turned the light off, and they started screaming, so I had to move it. So right now she's just stuffed in a wardrobe somewhere out of the way. It would have been nice if she could fit on top of Valerie, but she can't. I'm trying to see if there's a way I can get her to voyage on top of Valerie, so that it would be nice to have a body as well. But yeah, that's the Feather Family cowl, so look out for that. Now, my other finished object is also a design project. This is the This is the first sock in the volume 2 of the Fairly Odd Socks collection. I finished this over the weekend. Again, this doesn't have a name. I've been playing with names, so haven't finalized the name yet. But this is the sock. Awake now. Yeah, so you can just see her there. Yeah, so I was giving her the tablet for a bit till I finish. Alright, so as I was saying, can you lower that please? It's fine like that, you can still hear it. Right, as I was saying, these are the first sock in the Fairly Odd Socks Volume 2 collection. So yeah, I don't have a name for them yet. You can see here there is a lace panel, one going this direction, the other going down. I made these as afterthought everything socks. So that means I started from one end, was it this side? Yeah. Started from this end, worked all the way up to the other end and worked the toe. I then cut the yarn here, excuse me, cut the yarn here and then worked the cuff this one, worked the cuff on this one, and then cut the yarn at the back and added these toes. I've added contrasting yarn just for, not the toes, just for the heel, because I was going to do it for the cuffs as well, but when I started the cuffs, completely forgot, and I got part way through and then just decided to carry on with the same colour. But yeah, I think it looks nice having the contrast on the heels there. Yeah, these haven't been blocked yet. I wanted to show them off to you first. The yarn I've used is 3rd Volt Yarns Librarian Sock in the Death colorway. This is part of the Endless collection, and the heel is also 3rd Volt Yarns. This is a mini skein. I think this is a most unmagical sword, I believe, and I think you can get this as a full skein as well at times. Yeah, so that is sock 1 of the collection. I haven't started sock 2 yet. I'm currently working on my only whip that I have, or my only main whip, so I want to get a bit of headway on that before working on sock 2. These will be entered into the box of socks Cowl. I'm not 100% taking part. I'm just trying to see if I can get 12 socks done in the year, because I would like to have more socks in my sock stash. All the socks I have at the moment are handmade, and I just need a variety of socks, some to wear in the house, some for wearing outside. As I do tend to, the socks I have at the moment, I think I have about 17 or 18, and yeah, once I've worn a few, not washing them straight away, and then end up getting through them and realize I've got none left. And yeah, there are some I don't like wearing around the house. I prefer to save them just for going out, so I need to make as many as possible, so I've got lots of choices. So another sock to the collection. These will also be added to the Downseller Studios Pigskin Party, which ends today, so I need to take a picture and add this, and also add this as well to that. I haven't done as well as I did in the last one, the Pigskin Party that took place in 2016. I did a lot better on that. Yeah, so I haven't gathered as many points, but hopefully for the next one, which will be starting in September this year, I'll do a lot. What is that? Oh, sorry, a funny message has just come up on my screen. I'm recording on my phone. Maybe it's Mr. U sending something. Yeah, so that will be entered in for that. What else can I say about this? Nothing much else is. In terms of the construction, I have worked afterthought socks previously, but they weren't true afterthought socks. These were true afterthought socks. But I don't really think, in terms of the heel, I'm a fan. I might do another pair sometime down the line and try working the heels quite a bit differently and see if that helps. It's just this method of heel still seems a bit tight around my insteps, but we'll see how it goes once I've blocked it. I know you don't need to block socks, but because this is a design project, for the purpose of taking pictures and also just to see if the fit is a bit better, I think blocking is a good idea for that. So that is my second and final FO. Now on the needles. As I said, I've only got one main whip, and that is a sweater project, and it's Breathing Space by Vera Valiamaki, and this is what I've done so far. I was a bit worried when I saw the small kind of neck opening here. I was worried that it wasn't going to fit, but I did transfer this on to another needle and tried it on, and it does go over my head and it fits around the shoulders nicely. Yeah, I've got one more increase to work before adding in the contrast colour, which is going to be this. This is Artisano Definition Sock in the crocodile colorway. This is 3rd Volt Yarns. I think it's Librarian Sock. If not, it'll be Companion 4-ply in the girl colorway. I had hoped to have already added this in already. I worked on this quite a bit last night, and because I've lost track on what row I'm on, I'm just keeping track on the increases based on the number of stitches I have. So I've worked out how many stitches I would need to complete the required increases. So I did some counting and calculating, thought, okay, you've got 4 more increases left, which would be for 8 more rows. Worked till I did 6 more rows, counted again, and still seemed to have the same number of stitches, and realized that I had miscounted the first time. So by the time I then worked and got to the same point, it was a bit, not too late, but my hands were tired. And yeah, Mr. Yu had just gone to bed. He's working the day shift now, so I didn't want to end up going into bed too late and disturbing him. So I've got 1 more increase row to do, and then I can add in the contrasting color. But yeah, it's going well so far. Straightforward, nothing much is happening just yet. Yeah, I would have had another whip to show you, but that would have been the cable cuff socks. It's just behind the camera over there. I was about to work on it over the weekend and then discovered that I can't find the pattern. I have no idea where the pattern is. There are 2 possible places it could be, but without that I am stuck, because I'm still on the cable section on the, I think it's the cuff for the, I think it's the right leg, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so I can't really move on from there because it's been a while since I worked on it, so I've forgotten what the actual pattern is. Someone keeps calling on a number that I don't recognize and they're not leaving a message, so I'll have to do a search the number online, see if I can work out who they are, if it is something important. So yeah, as I was saying, I've lost the pattern, so yeah, that has to be put on hold until I can find it. If not, I'll have to go online and see if there's a way I can get someone to, I don't know, send me over a copy. Not send me the copy, but maybe do a screenshot. Then that should be okay, as I've had the pattern. I just lost it. But yeah, so that's it for actual projects I have. As I said before, I don't have any goodies. Oh, guess I could talk about what I'm wearing. This is the caramel sweater by Isabel Kramer. Blocked this a while ago. If you saw, not a while ago, but maybe a week ago. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this already. The yarn is, the top of the black yarn is Around Kania lace DK. The bottom is King Cowl, I think it's Luxury Merino, something like that. The contrasting colours are Third Volt Yarns Echo DK. The top half is the 10 colourway. The bottom half is Defense Against the Dark Hearts. So yeah, it's turned out quite well. It's a bit wide on the sleeves here, so it's coming right on the edge. I think I may have, sorry, the lens is there. I think I may have stretched it at the back a bit too much when blocking it, but it's fine. It still sits on my shoulders. Sometimes when I wear it, I've been wearing it a lot. When I wear it, sometimes I just use a shawl pin to hold it in place, but I need to get something so I can hold the 2 in place here, like this, if I do want to close it up. But yeah, I've been wearing it like this a lot. The only problem I've found is pilling. And this pilling is where I've used the King Cowl yarn, which is a commercial yarn and is a bit cheaper than the others. The others I've used are, I would say, hand-dyed, not necessarily luxury yarn, but a little bit pricier. But yeah, and I think you do get what you paid for, because this is pilling quite a bit. And I haven't really been, I wouldn't say I've been wearing it so much that it should be pilling like this. So I do need to remove all of that. So I think it's just a lesson not to, number one, mix up yarn qualities. And what I might do is, because it's just from, on my sleeves I've used it from here to here. That's because I was running out of the Aramcania and it's been discontinued. So yeah, I've used it from the back there on the sleeve. So what I might do is, if I can find yarn that's similar in quality and texture, I might rip back and just redo this section of the arms. It's the same on the body, but because on the body where I've started using the merino is about here, I think, so it's not so noticeable. Excuse me, it's not so noticeable, so it's maybe just on here, but so yeah, so that could possibly be left. But yeah, I do have a small electric lint remover, but because it's small, it can't always handle these larger bubbly bits so well. But I am planning on getting a gleaner at some point, so hopefully if I do, then it wouldn't be such a big problem. Yeah, but that is the caramel sweater and I do love it, and it's the reason why I want to end this year with 4 garments in my wardrobe, because I think I would like to have more handmade garments there. So yeah, so that's everything project wise. I'm just going to get a drink, see if Little Miss would like anything, and I'll be back to you with the word for the month. Alright? Right, now I've just been all over the place looking for my phone, wondering where it is. It wasn't in my bag, wasn't on the mantle. Thinking, where is it? Oh my goodness, I hope nobody's taken it. Hope I haven't been pickpocketed. And then I sat down, looking here, and my phone is in front of me. I completely forgot I was using my phone to record. So I've got my old phone, which I'm using to do the word for the month. And for those of you who don't know, the word for the month is where I share a piece of scripture, just as a way to encourage you. Yeah, simply that. So if this isn't for you, then that's fine. You can skip forward towards the end, or you can just return for the next episode. So if you are leaving now, thank you for watching, and I hope that you do come back to watch the next episode. If you are staying, the word for the month is Luke chapter 6 verse 38, and it reads, "Give and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." I thought this is just a great reminder for us to all have a giving heart and a giving spirit towards others. So that means any situation you are in where you see someone who is in need and you have the ability or the resources to help them, then you should. And that doesn't just have to be in a monetary sense. It could be giving in terms of, if you see someone who needs clothing and you know you have spare clothes in your house that you're not using anymore, you can hand it over to them. If you see someone hungry and you have food, you can share your food with them. If you know you have a particular skill or ability and somebody is in need of that and isn't in a financial position to pay someone professional to do it, you can offer your services. So I think just for this year going, just trying to be more giving towards others in terms of your time, your ability, finances, if that's what you're able to offer up. Just any way where you see that there's a need and you are able to fulfill that need. Because the rest, as the rest of the verse says, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over. Now, growing up in churches, there was these songs, this particular verse, excuse me, this particular verse is within a song, and I never fully understood what it meant for a good measure, shaken together, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over. I didn't really fully understand what that meant. But I was once reading a study Bible, and within that they explained what was meant by that. And it just relates to the fact, I believe it was when the crops were being harvested, the baskets would be filled up with the crops that had been picked, and you would have a good and nice amount in each basket would be filled up, but then that would then be pressed down so that it's taking up as much room as possible. It'll be shaken together just to get rid of all the bits and pieces that weren't useful, and then, you know, pressed down to compact it more so that more could be added to it. So in terms of this, a good measure, which would be pressed down, so it's pressed down and compact to give you more room for more to be added to it, shaken together, so all the stuff that isn't needed, isn't necessary, will be removed, and running over, so this blessing or whatever you're giving back will be running over, it'll be overflowing. So it's just a promise that if you are someone who has a giving heart, a giving spirit, just having the habit of giving to others, it will be given back to you. And I know also that this is a verse that is often used in times of tithes and offering, or whenever they're doing the collection plate at churches. But I don't feel that this verse is exclusively for that. This is just in terms of your everyday life. We should all be more giving to others. Anybody who we come across, who we see that we can help, I would say it would be wrong to be in a situation where you can help somebody and you don't help someone. I think we should always strive to help those who are in need when we can, as long as you know that the help you're giving the person isn't going to be more detrimental. So if you do come across somebody who, let's say, is, I don't know, a drug addict, alcoholic, and they want money from you, this could be anybody, a stranger on the street, a family member or a friend. If you know that giving them that money is going to be used towards that thing, then you know in that situation it's better for you not to give. In that situation, your giving could be more in terms of your support to help them come out of the situation that they are in, or support in connecting them with the people who can help them come out of that situation. Oh, sorry. Mr. Yu is just calling. Hold on. Okay, apologies for that interruption. Mr. Yu just called me. So what was I saying? Yes. So giving in that situation could just be you connecting somebody with where they're able to get help. So it doesn't have to be, it's not only about giving to church or giving in a financial way. It could just be giving of yourself in any way that's beneficial or useful to another person. So I hope, even for myself, and for all of you listening, that it's something that we can all strive to do going forward, just giving more to other people, and not just because there's a promise of a blessing coming back, but just because we know it is the right thing to do. Okay, so that is the word for the month. Yeah, there's nothing really much to add. I swear she's increased the volume. She does that all the time. Yeah, not very much to add. Hasn't been very eventful here in the Yu household. Yeah, so nothing much to talk about there today. I've just got to do some cooking. Got to give her something to eat. I myself hasn't really eaten anything, so yeah, that's just our plans for the rest of the day. I did post out a couple of stitch marker sets today to somebody who purchased them. If you don't know, I also, as well as designing, I also make stitch markers, and you can get those on my Etsy store. I'll put something up there if I haven't already done so. So yeah, I do need to make some more. Yeah, I had planned over the Christmas holidays to try and make some more, but you know, Christmas holidays, children everywhere, it's not going to happen. So yeah, I do need to put some new stuff in there and work on doing that. So that will be one of my goals. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks I'll be able to do something, as well as starting the second sock in the Fairly Odd Socks Volume 2 collection. So that's everything I can say. Yeah, the notes for this episode will be in the Ravelry group. That again will be up there somewhere. And yeah, that's all really. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. If it was your first time watching, and if it isn't, hope you also come back for the next episode. Do check me out on all the other social media stuff where I am. Also join the Ravelry group and take part in all the chatty stuff. I seem to be the only person who's really chatty there, so it'll be great to have some fresh blood in there taking part in these discussions. Yeah, so hope you have a great rest of the week, rest of the month, and that we will see each other again soon. Bye.